Welcome to another episode of Allied Heritage Report. I'm your host, Javon Chandler. We start out tonight's proceedings with breaking news coming from Hollywood. Um, Creator and host of the show Inside the Actors, James Lipton, has died at 93. Now, if you remember correctly, this was the same guy who voiced and played himself in The Simpsons. He was a TV show analyst on the show Simpsons. Um, from what I got here, James Lipton, the elegant and articulate world's Smith and theater academic who desired to give his acting students a greater insight into their art, led to the popular Bravo series Inside the Actors Studio, has died. He was 93. Lipton passed away early Monday. Today. He passed away today. At his home in Manhattan from bladder cancer. Now, for those of you who don't know who this man is, he lived each day as if it was his last. His work was a passion. He loved what he did and all the people he worked with. He empowered people to their best, and hopefully his spirit and courtesy will live on. Those are truly honorable words that were stated by his wife. I know as a world and a society we will miss this man. And my condolences go out to the family at this time. Another headline today, coming in to the news area here. Teacher sends girl home without pants, but regrets it when dad shows up. Now, let's see. When a father in Florida picked up his daughter from the bus stop, he couldn't believe what he was seeing. What happened that day sent him straight back to the school that made his daughter do it. Now, the school made her do this. He would make them pay for humiliating his little girl like that. He rolled up his sleeves, prepared to fight. If they wanted to play, he could play. Let's see here. Let's move forward in this. So I'm guessing what happened here. Okay. Sitting for hours on end at school is hard, even for older and more disciplined students. But for a 6-year-old, it could be an enormous task. So when the little girl was forced to raise her hand before being acknowledged, things took a turn for the worse, and her dad was understandably livid about the consequences. Now, basically, this girl acted as if every little girl would, every small child. Now, according to this, Officer Raymond McCurdy wasn't a man to take things laying down. So the daughter apparently was the daughter of a police officer. He had dealt with too many injustices in his life to just let things slide. What his daughter's school had done was completely unacceptable and in his eyes a criminal offense. When he saw his little girl's tear-stained face as she got off the bus, he knew someone was going to pay. That's embarrassing for the little girl. It doesn't matter what she did or anything. It does not justify you making her go home without pants on. Now, in this case here, you could possibly say that there could be some sort of sexual offenses or there could be sexual charges drawn here for the school district. It all began when the McCurdy family moved to Florida. Little Amy began to attend a new school, Bell Terry Elementary School. Her parents hadn't experienced anything like this before at her previous school, so they didn't feel like they needed to worry about their little girl. They were unaware that now there were different rules for young Amy. Again, it doesn't matter what the rules are, it doesn't justify you sending her home without pants on. Now, we are digging into this right here, right now, because I'm curious. What was the reason behind them sending her home with no pants on? Okay, so I think we're going to find out here as this gets forward. Okay, there were no more on-demand bathroom breaks from now on. Amy would have to wait for the teacher's permission. So she raised her hand to use the bathroom as she was taught to do, but the teacher made her wait, ignoring her request, despite her experiencing that it was urgent. This led to an extremely unfortunate incident for the little girl. So she had to go to the bathroom, and the teacher wasn't allowing her to do so. Which leads me to believe that this girl, since it was so urgent, she may have a small bladder, or she could have bladder problems. Now, Amy squirmed in her seat as she sat, hand raised, waiting for the teacher to notice her. She stared at the teacher's back as she wrote on the whiteboard. Willing her to turn around, and see how desperate she was to use the bathroom. Her teacher glanced around and made eye contact, but ignored her. Not being able to hold it any longer, she wet herself in her seat. As mortifying as that is, a whole lot more happened to make her situation so much worse. So, not letting her go to the bathroom caused her to have an accident in her pants. Okay, so she was sent to the office, okay? Amy was sitting in her class surrounded by her classmates, and we all know how mean kids can get, okay? Finally responding to what was now clearly an emergency, the teacher sent the little girl off to the school office to clean herself up. She had no spare clothes with her, but the school didn't even call her parents to bring any in. Okay? What they did instead would have any parent seeing red. Which means that it would anger a lot of parents around the United States and abroad. See, if it was me and my kid was sent home like this, I would be really, really angry. I would be the same way this dad is right now. He's livid. He's simply wanting revenge for his daughter the way that she was treated. This is uncalled for. This is uncharacteristic. And in some places, this could be illegal. Now, I'd say in the state of Florida, this should be illegal. But like I said, I wasn't there, so I can't really pinpoint which side was right. But I do gotta say that I think the school board should be questioned here, and some of them, with their poor choice in judgment, should be suspended. Because, like I said, there is no reason whatsoever to send your child or that child home with no pants on. That's just asking for her to be picked on. Now, okay. Amy was handed a pair of school-issued panties after being cleaned up, and that was all she was given. She was forced to put her soiled shirt back on to cover herself. And the 6-year-old wasn't even given a pair of pants to wear for the rest of the day. Still, it didn't get any better. So they gave her a pair of panties, and the shirt that she had gotten wet from the accident, they made her put it back on to cover her private parts and all that stuff. Um, which for me, this is a punishment that has gone too far. Um, and like I said, the school district should be punished for this. All right. It finally came to the end of the day, and the school put her on the bus to go home, wearing just that shirt and a pair of random panties. Wearing soiled clothes and subjected to ridicule throughout the day, she began to sob. That's how her dad saw her when the bus arrived, and he saw red, which means that just like any other dad, he got really angry, frustrated, and I wouldn't, honestly, I wouldn't blame him. You know, if this was my kid, again, I would be so angry. I am not a police officer, but if I was, there would be a major lawsuit here with the school district for embarrassing my kid like this. Um, you know, like I said, just uncalled for. Um, she was victimized. She was a target. The school made her a target. As soon as they operated the way that they did, they made her a target. So, you know, just keep that in mind if you are in the state of Florida and you are a parent of a child that is enrolled into this elementary school. This could happen to you. So just be aware and just I don't think there's anything else I can say to possibly ridicule this situation, because again, the school was in the wrong here. The dad, in my opinion, was right when he decided to proceed the way he did. Now, I would like to move on from this situation. I would talk about some headlines that are in other states, including some headlines that are here in the state of Tennessee to make you aware of. And I have come up with this one in the state of Ohio. Now, I am from the state of Ohio, so seeing this makes me kind of relieved, at the same time as glad that Ohio is taking precautions the way they are, because we've all done this. Everybody, doesn't matter what state you've been in, have all done this. So, Ohio's annual spring and fall burn ban is now in effect. Now, in Ohio, open burning is prohibited in March, April, May, October, and November. So basically in the summertime, you are not allowed to do this. Between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. According to the Ohio Division of Forestry, the ban includes, but are not limited to, burning of yard waste, trash, and debris. Open burning is dangerous in the spring and fall when leaves are on the ground and the weather is warm, dry, and windy. There are more than 1,000 wildfires each year in Ohio, according to the Ohio Division of Forestry. Um, Ohio is really smart in doing this. Um, they are um, continuously on top of the burning situation. Now, if you're not from the state of Ohio, I will have you know that up there are thousands of residents in that state that burn things like airsoft cans, tires, um, just odds and ends trash, glass sometimes. I've seen glass being burnt, which is dangerous because if that fire pops and the glass is inside of it, it could shatter and you could get hurt from it. So, okay. Let's see here. Okay, here we go. State of Ohio. You have a lot of animals up there. But could you imagine this? Now, just bear with me. Police found a fully grown alligator living in the basement of an Ohio home. Now, some people have spiders lurking in their basement, others may be rats. But this Ohio woman tops them all. Police received an anonymous tip last week in Madison Township directing them to her basement. Once there, they discovered a fully grown 5-foot long American alligator. Now, the police are stating, I've never seen anything like that in my 17 years in the department. Okay. Now, the homeowner said her son bought the alligator at a reptile flea market 25 years ago and had kept it in the basement ever since. The volunteer surrounded the gator, and the Ohio Department of Agriculture removed it from the home. The gator from Groveport was in good condition. It didn't require any special care, but this is illegal, highly illegal. Alligators are banned in the state of Ohio thanks to the Senate Bill 310, which prohibits the possession of hyenas, lions, tigers, alligators, bears, and several other wild animals. Now, there is a reason behind this. If you look back in history, the state of Ohio had a tragedy. There was a man in Zanesville. He had died, and a lot of his wild animals were set free. Which meant they roamed the county of Muskingum for so long. They had to shut down schools because of the danger. They used tranq darts to subdue some of the wild animals. If I'm correct, there were at least 20 lions, 30 tigers, 4 bears, 3 monkeys, 1 owl, and there was a bat, I believe. Wildlife officials will take the animal to an animal sanctuary in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, where it will enjoy its retirement in the warmer weather. So, at least we know they're not going to kill the alligator. Let's see here. Now let's move on to the state that I'm in now. Let's move on to Tennessee. There are some headlines here that I think you need to be aware of, so that way you can be most prepared for some of the things that are coming your way. I do want to state that there is a huge storm coming. So be prepared for it. The weather experts are calling for heavy winds, chance of hail, and a small chance of some tornadoes. So if you're out and about this weekend, just be careful. Now, I want to get to this. There was an Amber Alert issued. Now, I covered this And here at this news show, we are still looking for the little girl that is missing. But the judge denies reduced bond for mother of missing Tennessee toddler Evelyn Boswell. Let's see here. February. Sullivan County, Tennessee. The mother of a missing 15-month-old Evelyn Boswell appeared before a judge Monday afternoon. Megan Boswell faces charges of falsifying a report. The judge denied the request by Boswell's lawyer to reduce her bond from $25,000 to $10,000. The judge set her next court date for May 8th at 9 a.m. The Sullivan County Sheriff's Office said they will continue to share updates in the search for Evelyn Boswell and that they are not related to documents sealed by a grand jury. They plead with the public. Now, this is something I could get behind. They plead with the public to stop sharing false information. So, if you have information about this little girl that you may think is questionable, don't share it without looking further into it. Now, many of the rumors being circulated have been sent to us after time during this investigation. On Saturday, field calls regarding a post that had been made over the weekend in a Facebook group stating Evelyn had been found. Obviously, we will communicate any major development to the media, and it won't come from a Facebook group in Oregon. So, let me make it perfectly clear. This girl has not been found yet. So whatever sources you see on Facebook that says she has been is false. Now, as of Monday morning, Seabolt said there have been no new developments in that case, and he announced Sunday that documents related to the case have been sealed. The court documents pertaining to the case, search warrants, etc., are sealed per an order from Judge Jim Goodwin. We cannot speak regarding any evidence that may have been collected. Of course, because it's still an ongoing investigation, they don't want to share that. Authorities still need the public's help, though. And they say the best way concerned citizens can make a difference is by continuing to share Evelyn's picture. Anyone with information in the case should call 1-800-TBI-FIND. So if you have information, just call that number. It's on my video, so just share it. Here's something that's cool. Let's see here. See the loads, load. Okay. Tennessee News is sharing, or the U.S. Federal Bureau of Investigation, which is the FBI, is sharing that authorities reopened Tennessee child slaying case from 2000, which means that they're taking this cold case and they're going to reopen it, mainly because there's possible evidence regarding this case, or maybe they have some sort of conclusion. Chattanooga authorities in Tennessee have reopened an investigation into the slaying of a 10-year-old boy who was suffocated and left along a wooden trail 20 years ago. The Hamilton County District Attorney's Cold Case Unit announced last week that the FBI will assist the office and Chattanooga police in a renewed investigation into the death of Joshua Walden. Walden was last seen in December 2000 riding his bicycle around his neighborhood. His then 17-year-old sister, Crystal Walden, reported him missing, and the child's body was found the next day, half mile from his home. News outlets have reported. Investigators determined the boy had been suffocated before acid was poured on his body. The FBI will be sending members of its behavioral analyst unit and child abduction and rapid development team to the area to pursue any new leads. Joe Carrico, special agent in charge of FBI in Knoxville, announced at a news conference Wednesday. He called on members of the public to recall and report anything from that time that could help investigators. One of the original homicide detectives on the case, Mike Mathis, said the department has sent evidence collected at the scene 20 years ago to the FBI to undergo fresh testing with new technology. Investigators declined to comment on any further details on the case because, of course, this is still an ongoing investigation. Since the announcement Wednesday, the district attorney's office has posted a series of videos on social media produced by the FBI that officials said they hope will renew public awareness. I just need to know, Crystal Walden pleads through tears in one of the videos, asking for tips that could help solve her brother's case. So if you was around during that time and you know any information that could help with the murder of this 10-year-old boy, then see what you can do about contacting these officials so that way we can find justice. See here. Now, as I said before, strong storms are expected here in the state of Tennessee. Now, rain moves through Middle Tennessee. The National Weather Service in Nashville is predicting storms and strong weather possible Monday evening in the Middle Tennessee area. Storms may include damaging winds, a risk of hail, and a low risk of tornadoes. Alright, now let's get deeper into this. The strongest threat does not move in until late afternoon. Storms should gather in intensity into the evening and overnight. Residents are encouraged to stay aware of weather updates. This storm has changed the previous predictions of a wet week ahead. Showers should begin to taper off Thursday morning, or Tuesday morning, sorry. No more than an inch of rain is currently predicted for the area through Thursday. So this is a strong storm. Just be careful out there. Now for my final three thoughts of this evening. 1. To the man in Florida that his daughter was embarrassed and humiliated. I am behind you 110%. I think this is wrong. And I applaud your efforts. 2, the state of Ohio is working hard to prevent things that could cause tragic deaths. So get behind those officials and do what they're asking you to do. 3, this weather that is coming is really dangerous. I don't want to say it's as severe as they're predicting, but this could still cause flooding, so watch your surroundings. Now, I want to make aware that this weekend, maybe Friday or Saturday, I will be running my first hour-long report, and I will be touching base on the coronavirus. There are updates that I have that could help society. It could save lives. So, tune in Friday or Saturday. I have not figured out which day yet, but as soon as I do, you will be aware about it. But this show is about helping people and saving lives. So please, if you have a chance, like, subscribe, and follow my videos. I would like to say goodnight and be careful. For Allied Heritage Report, I am your host, Javon Chandler.